What if the Anunnaki programmed humanity as a living experiment, and we've been running in the background ever since? That question came to me not in a lecture hall, but around a fire, cedar smoke rising to meet stars. An elder told us that long ago, sky people came down, not with wings, but with hunger for clay. They saped to us, not just once, but again and again, like potters who can't stop revising a bowl. When he spoke, it felt less like myth and more like memory, something deep in the bones nodding along. The Anunnaki belonged to Sumerian tablets, old as cuneiform itself. They were called gods, but the stories read like engineers. They arrived from the heavens, dug deep into the earth for metals, and grew weary of the labor. So they created workers. That's where we come in humanity as helper species, shaped from dust and divinity, clay mixed with blood. Archaeologists call it metaphor. But what if it was instruction? What if we were built to serve an experiment, to see how far flesh could carry code? From a native perspective, this fits. Our creation stories often speak of shaping. The Cherokee say, the animals molded the world before humans arrived. The Navajo recount first man and first woman building from sacred elements. The Lakota tell of white buffalo calf woman gifting ceremony to complete us. Maybe the Anunnaki stories are just another angle knowledge wrapped in symbols of sky and stone. Think about DNA. It's a language for letters spiraling endlessly. Modern science admits we don't understand all of it, whole sections labeled junk. But what if that junk is the code the Anunnaki left behind? Lines of programming, dormant until the right trigger wakes them. That might explain sudden leaps in human evolution. Art exploding 40,000 years ago. Agriculture sprouting in different lands at once. Cities rising from mud almost overnight. Progress not as accident, but as planned upgrades in the experiment. And what about myths of giants Nephilim, offspring of gods and humans? Could those be the failed versions? Test runs abandoned because they grew too unruly? It would explain the flood stories, where the gods reset the experiment, keeping only a seed population to start fresh. Picture it. Sumerian priests writing on clay tablets, describing ships from the sky. They weren't inventing, they were documenting. Their ziggurats weren't just temples, but landing pads, places where God's engineers descended to check on their work. The rituals weren't worship, but reporting progress updates from clay-born humans to their makers. Here's where it grows stranger. If the Anunnaki programmed us, maybe they also programmed curiosity, planting in us the need to seek, question, reach for stars. That would make sense. An experiment doesn't just run, it evolves. We're designed to outgrow the lab, to find the testers, maybe even to surpass them. From my own people's view, we'd call that humility wrapped in trickster humor. The sky beings gave us life, but they also gave us enough restlessness to one day catch up to them. It's the same way a parent teaches a child, not to copy, but to create. And maybe we're close. We've cracked the genome, built machines that think, reached out into space with golden records etched in binary. Every satellite we launch is like a smoke signal. We've learned. We're awake. Are you still watching? But here's the haunting thought. What if the Anunnaki are still here, hidden, blended, or orbiting quietly, observing their long experiment? Every now and then they nudge in, idea in a dream, a discovery by accident, a sudden leap in technology. We think it's our genius. Maybe it's their patch notes. So the next time you look in the mirror, think about the clay and the spark. Think about the restless itch in your bones, the drive that won't let you stop asking questions. It may not just be human stubbornness. It may be programming ancestral code left by beings who saw more in us than dust. If the Anunnaki programmed humanity as a living experiment, then our myths aren't lies. They're the oldest lab notes, carved in stone, reminding us who we are. Clay mixed with sky. Servants who became seekers, test subjects becoming the experimenters themselves.